I always joke with my friends because they're like, you're so critical and so judgmental. And I'm like, imagine being me.
Literally.
I'm like, you think it's hard? Imagine being inside of it. I don't feel bad for you. I feel bad for myself.
Hey sluts, I'm Aubrey, an Aquarius Sun, Scorpio Moon, Taurus Rising.
And I'm Danny, a Sag Sun, Leo Moon, Libra Rising.
And
we're your Astro Sluts.
Today we're talking about No, we're not. Oh my god, you guys. We have been talking about a Taurus.
We have been talking about a Taurus for literally like an hour. So I get why you may
We
have
are
said
talking
that.
about a Taurus. No, today we're talking about Virgo.
We are.
I keep wanting to go back to our Taurus episode. I'm like, well, I've got some new insights.
Lots to add.
Lots to add. You guys, I just got ghosted by a Taurus. In like
pretty bad.
Pretty bad. No, you guys, I got bamboozled. I got fooled. I got played. Like whatever the most dramatic word of that is, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like one of those, you think you're dating one person and then one day they're the devil.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe just like watch out for that. But also
something to be mindful of.
Yes. Something to be mindful of. They could always be lying about everything. Anyway, today we're talking about Virgos.
Yeah.
We're doing a series where we're doing an episode on every single sign. So keep a lookout for your sign. You can listen for your sun sign, your bestie's sun sign, or just any placement like your big three. Just a deep dive on the vibes.
I also feel like I have to say now because someone commented on one of our TikToks, like, why do you always put Pisces last? And we're going in order.
Yes.
So I want you guys to know this is not like a favoritism game. If you're like waiting for your sign, like we are going in the order of the zodiac. So you know, it's not by favorite or anything like that. I don't take it personal.
Well, some creators like mix up the order of the signs, so you have to watch the whole video to like find your sign.
Yeah.
But I think in particular, like when we're really trying to learn these, like they do build off of one another. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we're just a bit logical.
We love organization, okay? It's Virgo time.
Right. It just makes sense, really. So, okay, I'm like, there's a fury within me today.
Oh, should I start?
Yeah,
okay.
Sure. I'll ground myself over here.
Virgo season is typically August 23rd to September 22nd. Of course, there's always little shifts, so that's why it's good to know like the year, all the things when you're looking at birthdays and such. But typically end of summer vibes. It is a mutable sign, so it is that like transition sign to our fall season.
The symbol for Virgo is the virgin or like the maiden carrying wheat. Mm-hmm. And I've had some incredible discovery in my research. To the ancient Greeks, the word virgin means one unto herself. Mm-hmm. Which I really just think is going to be the through line for our whole episode. Yeah, it's just like you can apply that to so many different ways for Virgo. I think obviously like the word virgin is a very loaded word.
Yeah.
And I don't know a ton like about historically the like connotation of the word virgin, but like to me, one unto herself is like not necessarily bad.
No, totally.
Maybe it was back then, but I don't know.
Yeah. I'm like, now that you say that, I'm like, I wonder if there's anything in word slut. I feel like like linguistically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do remember like a couple, honestly, years ago we were doing, I don't know what episode it was, but I do remember like reading about Virgo and stuff, and I was like, oh, it's not like virgin as in sex.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's what they meant eons ago. Like, it was like pre that being a thing. Like, virgin, obviously, like, still yes. But, like, I don't think that was, like, the mythological connotation.
Because there was no option to not be a virgin. It was more of, like, you're not married, I think.
Exactly. Like a life stage.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so I think we can look at, like, virgin as, like, yes, like, there's a modest element to it, but there's also like an independence to it. But then I also think there's like a part of Virgo that, like, in modern context, with like the modern connotation of like the word virgin as more being like more of like a weaponized word, I guess. Like, virgin is like used in like very judgmental contexts in our like modern society. And so I feel like Virgos are like known for being pretty judgmental. I feel like it's almost like these like thousands of years of like being judged with that word. It's now like we're like a Virgo is also going to judge everyone else. There's, I don't know, like there's like a rebellion and like success. Like, I feel like Virgos can be like really big partiers, but they're also really big and like they're organized and they're hard workers. Like, I think there's something there.
No, totally.
I'm not articulating myself as well as I want it to be. But the maiden carrying wheat is also like supposed to be like goddess of fertility and agriculture, and more representative of, like, we always say Virgo energy is very like acts of service. So it's more of like that tending to and like harvesting.
Harvest is what I think always.
Also, like, similar note, Virgo is associated in like ancient Greek thoughts of as Demeter, who's their goddess of agriculture, and her daughter Persephone, who's a virgin, and gets like raped by Hades, and then like Hades like takes her to the underworld, but then like Demeter and Hades like work out the seasons where Persephone gets to like come up for like spring and summer, like half the year, and then has to go back down to the underworld, and like everything dies. So there is this like the virgin being around is like associated with like fertility
and
growth.
Yes.
So love that. Love her.
Virgo is an earth sign, so one of the more grounded of the zodiac. But I think that, I mean, it shows up in a lot of ways, but they are typically like very hard workers. I would say like tend to be like a little more type A, pop astrology wise, but definitely an organized, put together bunch.
The planetary ruler of Virgo is Mercury, which it's also the planetary ruler of Gemini. So there is like a through line there for sure. But Gemini is a little bit more of like, so Mercury is the planet of like thoughts, of talking, of social media, like all very communication based things. Gemini is very like outward expression, like talking, chatting. And Virgo is more of the like analytical, like internal thought processes of Mercury. Which makes it, they're very, I think both signs are like very smart, but it almost feels like Gemini is like street smart and Virgo is like book smart. So like,
totally.
Very, very simply.
Virgo rules the 6th house, which is like your job, your daily, like not career, but like the day-to-day habits, rituals, the place you go for work every day kind of vibe. It's
very like health and wellness, like your physical health. It's also the house of pets. So I do think Virgos tend to be like little animal lovers. And Virgo, the body part Virgo rules is abdomen, intestines, gallbladder, pancreas, and liver. The nitty gritty.
Yeah, literally. I feel like it's always like there's a lot of like Virgos with a tummy ache memes.
Yeah. I think it's also like those are all things that are like silently like keeping everything running. Where you're not like, I don't know, like I can't like really tell you what any of those
No.
things do,
Yeah.
but I know that we need
'em.
them.
No, exactly.
The silent cogs in the machine,
Yeah.
if you will. You have other Virgo characteristics you'd like to bring up? Observations?
I would say like big fixer upper energy. I think it's like they hold themselves to a really high standard, so it's almost like, well, why wouldn't other people? So I think like a little like that's where you get like a little bit of the judgment. I think a lot of times it is like well intentioned, like, oh well, why wouldn't you just do this, or like why wouldn't you just like put all your stuff in a file cabinet or whatever it is, you know, like emotionally or like practically. But I feel like it's just this thing of like the way they see themselves is like so, or they hold themselves to that standard, so it's just like a hard, like a disconnect when like other people don't feel that way.
Yeah, I think we always say this, but like Virgos like do give off this like very critical, like judgmental energy sometimes, but like they are being way harder on themselves than on you.
No,
Like,
exactly.
for sure.
Exactly. I was reading like co-stars blip about Virgos, and it was like, oh my god, I'm like, I literally think I just closed the page. Let me just pull it up because it was actually really interesting. Virgos are the literal embodiment of the medieval philosopher who lives in a sterile cell, never opening the door for fear that people will catch a glimpse of the mess inside. Their motto is, in order to save myself from myself, I must first destroy myself. What they want is a pure, clean existence.
Deep.
That's intense. But I think the first part of that is so interesting, like keeping yourself like this. So it's like, God forbid anyone sees that it's not like all like virgin pure state.
Yeah, I think there's also like a mercurial like anxiety quality to that of like it's like earth sign. It's like it's earth sign ruled by Mercury.
Yeah.
We have this like really strong front,
But
super grounded, but like inside it.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I sent this to you or not, but I like semi recently saw a TikTok by Indie888. I was listening to it before we recorded, and I was like, well, I just would like to re-say everything that she said.
I love our quotes.
Shout out Indie888. She did this whole, I don't know, I assumed that they hate gender. They did this whole video on how Charlie XCX is a Virgo moon. And like Brat is written by a Virgo moon. And there is like and like I don't know, like the Virgos I know are also like huge partiers.
Yeah.
Like I have one Virgo friend that I see out a lot. I'm always like, I have no idea what you are on, babe.
Yeah.
But love that you're having a good time.
Totally.
But yeah, this creator was like just saying like how Virgo like low-key is a mess.
Yeah.
But they don't want anybody to know. And some other things that I pulled from that video are everyone like has Virgo pegged at this like perfectionist, but the perfectionist is really Libra.
Yeah.
What everyone thinks Virgo is really Libra. Like Libra's seeing that shit through.
Yeah, no, totally.
And Virgo just wants everyone to think that they're perfect. And then also they said just like how the opposite sign to Virgo is Pisces, and how there's like delusion is kind of the through line of those two signs, but like Pisces is delusional about the world and Virgo is delusional about themselves.
Yeah, interesting. It reminds me of the notes. I feel like if you guys are listening, you might also have North Node in Virgo. But just something to look into. But it's like also like I'm like, well, this actually doesn't have a lot to do with it. So I don't know what part of that made me think of this, but like the teaching is something that I think about a lot with Virgo. And then like, what is that book called? There's a book on the notes. I'm like, it is somewhere here.
Astrology
for the soul. Astrology for the Soul. It's super interesting. It's like only on the nodes. And that book like talks a lot about like Virgo North Node being like very called to teach, which I do think is kind of like, which I find a lot of myself. So I don't say this in a judgmental way. Like I do think like I have always, my full-time job is not teaching, and I've always supplemented my full-time job with teaching jobs, like in some capacity. But it's like, I don't know, for me it's like feels like selfless, but like it's like not about me at all. Like I just love like giving people like time and space to like feel good about themselves or learn something. But I almost,
you're not like, I'm the expert.
yeah, but I think but in like, if you just think about like what a teacher is, it's like the knower.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it is like that kind of like Virgo, like I can show you how to do this, even though like I might not be the perfect embodiment of that too.
Yeah.
It is just kind of interesting.
Yeah, I've been trying to get through that book for years.
Yeah.
I
like
think
one
I only
chapter. Read ours.
No,
like,
yeah, I can't even get through the Virgo chapter.
That's so funny.
I don't know why. I'll try
I
again
liked
maybe.
But they also say like Virgo North Node should have a pet, which 6th house. Kitten.
Yep, we got one.
And this is just like a note because we're gonna chat with a Virgo later on, but this person, like anyone you meet would call them their best friend, I think.
Totally.
Like they're one of my best friends, and I would say like not like everyone else that's in their life would be like, that's my best friend.
Yeah.
Which I just think is so nice. I think something really sweet about Virgos that doesn't get covered as much in the like type A perfection world is like how like good of people they are.
Yeah.
Like as friends, how caring, how looking out for, supportive, like definitely Virgo qualities.
Very, I would like also categorize like a Virgo friend as like a mom type friend.
Totally.
But in like a very different, I think last time we said that was probably Cancer.
Yeah.
In a very like different way though. Like Cancer is like way more like soft and nurturing, and Virgo is more like, they're more inclined to tell you how it is.
Yeah, totally.
Like you're not going, when you're like sad, you're not going to Virgo.
Yeah.
You're going to Virgo when you need something to happen, when you need help organizing something. Like,
yeah,
Virgo's like the mom friend where it's like, okay, we're all going to the beach on this day. Make sure you bring sunscreen and a swimsuit. Like, let's meet there at 3.
Yeah, totally. But I feel like also would be like, what was that about?
Yes.
Kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that was weird. You need to explain that kind of vibe. And not in a like, let me cook you dinner.
No.
And, like, just come here and relax and cry and whatever you need. It's like, what was that?
Yeah. More like, yeah, I told you this wasn't going to work out.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Come over. Like, I'll cook you dinner.
Yeah.
Like, and we'll watch this movie or whatever. Yes, I definitely had some very, like a very good Virgo friend in my past. Should we go through some celebrity examples?
Yeah, I would love to. Well, the first one is my Virgo, Beyonce.
Yeah.
She is just like, if you think archetype, I think she is an amazing example of a Virgo. She is incredibly hardworking, and she is the best at what she does. I don't know if we said it today, but I know we've said it in the past, like big reap what you sow energy. Like she fucking works. She works harder than anyone else from the people I've heard work with her. They all say that. And I'm like, it's not just me projecting. People say that about her. She's the hardest worker in the game. She's the most talented in the game. Like she does it all. Her hair care line. Her mom's a hairstylist. Like everything is very intentional. She doesn't just like, it's not just like a celeb slapped name on a brand. But obviously I love Beyonce. I think she's perfect. And it's what you get when you're an iconic Virgo.
I think there is also this like, she has reached such a level of success now that like we don't get to see behind the curtain anymore, and it's like always so funny to see all the like goofy interviews and things
I
that she
know.
used to do, and you're
God,
like,
she's
wait,
so
who's
funny.
that?
Yeah.
Like, that's not who we're getting anymore. And it's like I think there's an element of like she just gets to be a brand now.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't have to like do interviews for you to like listen to her
Totally.
album. But it is that total like you don't like we no longer get to see the mess behind the curtain. And good for her.
Yeah, but even like I feel like literally like anytime she's like in public, you get those silly moments, but like not intentionally.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like just like she's watching the Grammys and whatever, it's a meme because she just did something so funny. But like so it is like she definitely has that. But yeah, it's not for you.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not for consumption anymore.
Zendaya. Also
I
an
would put right
iconic
up there,
Virgo.
honestly. Right under that.
Yeah, very similar. Yeah, and she also was so goofy where you're like, wait, why are you like I thought you were like this perfect like pillar of a specimen, and then she's like so silly and like awkward in interviews and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
But
very
also
charming.
does come off like so ladylike.
Yes.
Which is like a little bit Virgo.
Mm-hmm.
That like prim and proper energy.
On a super different note, Abby Lee Miller.
Oh my god. Yeah. Fucking screamer. The pyramid order.
Yes.
Get those girls in line.
But you know, really creating stars. We're harvesting the JoJo Siwas of the world. I don't really know much about him, but Kobe Bryant is a Virgo.
I'm sure quite a hard worker.
I mean, yes. And definitely like there is just this like prim and properness. I think it's like the modesty of the like that virgin archetype. Like there is like I don't know. I think they all have like a little bit of like
a poise.
A little bit of poise, yes. They're all very ladylike to me.
Sophia Richie, who I would say is like the current queen of quiet luxury, which is very Virgo. It's very like humble.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I just had the most expensive Vogue wedding of the world, maybe, honestly. But like, I'm just going to wear my little gorgeous, perfectly tailored, you know, one of a kind dress. And it's not flashy. It's just sweet. And she's now a mother too. Like young mother energy. But yeah, she gives big Virgo vibes.
Yeah. Nick Jonas.
Oh.
Love. I don't have much to say about that, but
great. Leah Michelle.
Yes.
Which is so interesting because I was going to put Rachel Berry in my characters.
Oh,
and then I was like, you know what? I guess we could just cover it before that.
Yeah. I mean, I think they are so intertwined, you know, that it's
I feel like it's like literally, I think last week when we talked about like the young star, like with Raven, like the young star being their character.
Yes. Yeah. Very confusing. Also, her memoir is so like trying so hard to like teach you stuff. What the fucking like
the mask.
If
you haven't listened to, that was the first episode of Celebrity Memoir Book Club that I listened to. It's genuinely, I was on a plane laughing, because she spells like face mask, like MASQUE, and they call it a masque every time. And it's just like, it's incredible. But yeah, like the over heightened face mask, like the over, like, I don't know what to call it, but the hyping up of everything.
Yeah. And being like,
just like SK is fine.
Like, what? But I think, I mean, that is so like, I don't know, like self-care, daily routine, but also teacher.
Yeah.
Like, really putting it all together.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that's, you know, we haven't talked yet about like, you know, you can be an evolved Virgo or an unevolved Virgo. Just interesting to think about.
Well, I'll go next then.
Okay.
Because I have something funny, I think, to follow that.
Wonderful.
Prince Harry.
Oh my.
Wrote the fucking longest, alarmingly oversharing book.
Yeah.
Not that I read it, but I heard the clips.
We heard the clips.
So talk about thought spiral. Talk about buzzing in the head, oversharing, over communicating.
We saw behind the curtain.
We saw behind the curtain a bit.
Yeah.
I wish him well, but I do think that book was a little crazy.
I know. And now they're just making jam.
Well, I think she's making jam.
What's he doing?
I think they are. I think they have Netflix production stuff.
Okay.
That's like the last thing I saw. Like, I don't know if it's their own stuff or just like they're producing stuff for Netflix.
Yeah. Fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The Cutter, someone did like an article like, well, how are they making money these days? I didn't read it, but there was logos. Netflix was one of them.
Love.
Yeah.
Jason Derulo.
Oh, our favorite. What a fucking
he
weirdo.
also had a weird memoir.
He had a weird fucking memoir. Great episode again. Literally. All of these Virgos really think they have some. I guess the thing is they think they have something really important to say.
Yeah.
And like Jason Derulo's memoir was like post on TikTok 10 times a day.
Yeah.
Like, babe, you didn't need to write that in a book. Like, that is actually like, sure, yeah, that's good marketing advice, but
it's like, I am the one that needs to tell you to do this. Like,
and his like weird diets and shit and like gym routines, like it is all that, like, I guess it's all very sixth house, like that self-care or self-rituals habits. Yeah, so interesting.
Kim Petras is another one where I like personality wise would also put in like a Zendaya and Beyonce of like, you think she's this like put together like pop star, and then we saw her
slipping and sliding.
Like, you're like, oh, you're just a quirky little girl, aren't you? All over the place.
She's
tripping
more times than I've ever seen in a concert.
Yeah.
Something was wrong, but
but I think it's always kind of like that.
Yeah. It's got to be, because I feel like otherwise you'd be like, babe, let's change your costume. Let's change your shoes.
Yeah.
It's got to be just a her thing.
Yeah. And then another like one that I was surprised by is Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh, interesting.
But I do think there is like, I mean, I think maybe she just like embraces the goofiness.
Yeah.
Maybe you just must have like other placements that are also goofy.
Yeah. But I feel like she's like goofy, but a little bit stoic.
That's true. That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Because it does feel like a character.
Yeah. And I have heard she's very kind.
Yeah.
I think like in interviews, people always say she is very like kind. So I think it's like goof, but like maybe on and off switch.
Yeah.
She also really likes animals. I feel like she's one of the celebrities that like posts about animal rights a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, that
that
just came to me, but that does feel very Virgo.
Love.
Yeah.
All right. You have any more?
No.
Okay. Next we're gonna go through some like TV and movie fictional characters that we think are Virgos. You want to go first?
Sure. I'll start with Blair Waldorf.
Okay.
In the show, like, I know her birthday's like November 23rd or whatever, so she's either a Scorpio or a Sagittarius, and like Scorpio maybe, but I would prefer Virgo. Girl boss, preppy queen, little lady, perfectionist, cold, but would die for Chuck Bass. You know, like truly would do anything for that man. There's definitely a soft side. She was a big sobber.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Very very ladylike as well.
Big lady, like little lady.
Yes. Did I say Serena was a Cancer?
Yeah.
Which that also like a Cancer Virgo duo.
Totally.
Definitely feels like.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, my first one, in a very like oversimplified way, is Velma from Scooby-Doo. Very just like nerdy, like so logical, really smart. And I also like in the it's like not perfect, but in the live action when she gets the makeover and she's wearing like the red latex suit, totally feels like the like opposite side of Virgo. But I think Virgo in real life would like body the red latex suit, and she's kind of like uncomfortable by it. But I think there's no other sign that she could be.
I love that. Emily from Devil Wears Prada, like the assistant or the senior assistant, big like workaholic, but like in an aims to please Miranda way, not like in a like aims to get power.
Yeah.
Or like
yes.
further her, like I know the whole thing is to further her career, but it's like for Miranda, which feels very Virgo, like really like caring so deeply about how you're perceived by someone. Yeah, like it doesn't feel Capricorn-y workaholic. It's like a different brand. But I think she also is like deep down does have like a bit of a soft side, and like is obviously very sensitive to like when Andy gets to go to Paris, and then like, you know, when she gets the clothes back at the end, like it is like she's not as, again, like I guess with Blair, like it's not as hard as you think.
Okay, I think really similarly, my next one is Amory from Heartbreak High. She is like one of the most like unto herself characters in the game. I love Heartbreak High. If anyone hasn't watched that, Heartbreak High on Netflix. But I think similarly, like she is so like, she's so smart and like investigative, but like it's not for evil.
Yeah.
It's like because she cares so much about people or like wants to fix her reputation kind of thing. Or as I think, what's her friend's name? Harper. Yeah. Like Harper feels more like Scorpio vibes, where she's like, we're going to do this to get revenge. Totally. But Amory's more of just like, no, I really want to make it up to these people. Like, I'm going to figure this out. I also just think like the whole premise of the show is they make this like incest map, and just like wanting to like really map all that out and like keep track of it, and like it's so organized. Like there's like a fucking key with like what do all the different types of lines mean. Just like wanting to make that at all and like following through with it feels so Virgo. Yeah. Because it's so just like, oh, wouldn't it be fun to do this? But then I also think it's like Harper's feels more way for like for evil. Yeah, like totally. We're gonna figure out like what everyone's doing.
Yeah. No, I like that. Yeah. My last one is Ferb from Phineas and Ferb. Love. You may recognize the name.
Love him.
From the hit show. A maker, a doer, very intelligent, very smart, reliable friend. Down for anything, but he doesn't say much. Yes. You know? Yes. He's just there to get the work done.
We haven't talked about this yet, I think. But like Virgo is like in this like theme of like unto themselves, like they know better. Yeah. But they don't need to tell you.
Totally. Yeah.
Which is like why I think like, I don't know, for me sometimes I like Virgos make me a little bit nervous because I'm like, just tell me like what you're thinking kind of thing. But yeah, they just like, they're like, oh, that's dumb of you, but I'm gonna let you do that.
Yeah, totally.
Good luck, babe. Yeah. Similarly, my final one is Sydney from The Bear. She is like, I thought it was funny, like I wrote it down and then I was like taking notes. I'm like, because she knows better than everyone else there. And I read some like character description of her and it was like, well, she thinks she knows better. And I'm like, does she not? But it's very much like she's keeping to herself, even though she's seeing what's about to play out. And she's like, I'm gonna let you guys figure that out. That goes. I'm gonna do me. Yeah. And she also is just like, she's very witty, very Mercury, super hardworking, super patient with all the like chaotic energy around. And she's like the one that's like really gonna get everybody on track.
Yeah, absolutely. And now a word from the listeners. We asked you guys if you'd ever dated a Virgo, and here's what we got. OMG, too many times, selfish and naive.
Of them? Or that's describing the Virgos?
I think describing the Virgo.
Interesting.
Yes, and it was absolutely terrifying. It was a man. in parentheses.
Mine was scary. That's actually fair.
Yeah. Ha 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 ha. Still recovering. I was friends with benefits with one in 2011. Never had another one again, but it didn't end our friendship. Okay, that's good to know. Good sex, great communication, very reciprocal date planning. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and he traumatized me. Married one, eye roll. That's my favorite.
Yes.
In an active 10-year relationship with one, my psycho crazy man, LOL.
Yeah.
It's one of our friends. Didn't date, but made out with one, and it was the best makeout I'd ever had. And this person's a Cancer. So that's good to know. I feel like I didn't talk about how I hate Cancers kissing when we did that episode.
You didn't at all.
Well, I would just like to rig it up now that those people open their mouth too wide when they kiss.
Yes.
So if you're a Cancer, I would look into that. Okay, moving on. So more from the listeners. These are from our Google form. So if you ever have like more of a tale, long form piece you'd like to share, you can put it there. Another pandemic story. I think they left another pandemic story under another sign. It was a few months after my breakup, and I matched with this guy on Bumble. He was sweet, funny, and we had great conversation. He made me a whole playlist of songs that reminded him of me. We went on maybe 2 dates, and then on date 2, he asked how I was feeling about us and where I want this to go. I told him I wasn't looking for anything serious, but I was having a good time with him. He then said he thought he was being who I needed him to be. I told him that I never asked him to be anything for me and that he was projecting.
Mm-hmm.
He then kissed me. This is like really funny. We then made out because I knew this wasn't going anywhere, but he was 6'7", and I didn't know if I would ever kiss someone that tall again. I really respect that because I've never kissed anyone that tall either.
Have I? I'm going to give you a solid maybe.
So tall.
So tall. Maybe not that. That's like really
That's
tall.
like really tall.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't get a height check on the tallest person that I've kissed.
This next one just says, my baby daddy is a Virgo and he's a manipulative liar who is self-obsessed, judgmental, unreliable, and disrespectful.
Okay.
I'm sorry to hear that,
yeah, I
but
am as well.
Yeah, judgmental makes sense for sure.
Yes. Even though he's a mess.
Right, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Right, get your shit together. Have you ever dated a Virgo?
Okay, I have, you guys. I almost forgot. Oh my God, you guys, my cat hates the Brat vinyl. She won't stop messing. Every day she tries to knock it off of like the shelf that I have it on every single day. And I'm like, what is your problem? What is your problem?
It's funny too because it's like the same color as everything else in the house. So you would think it wouldn't be like weird. You know what I mean? Or like stand out.
I almost think because it's like torn up. And she loves to like rip up paper. Yeah. So it feels like a good option to mess with. I don't know. It's rude though. Okay, I was dating a Virgo in 2020.
Yes.
Started like in January. It was someone that I worked with. They were really good at their job. Like it was at a bar. Like one of the best bartenders that we had. So it was giving like, I don't know. You guys know me. I'm always going to date the most popular person in the room. Yeah. That's what I think is attractive. You know, I need to get something out of it. I need some like social climbing aspect to who I'm going to date. Capricorn Venus, if anyone doesn't already know that about me. Anyway, this was like, I remember like throughout our relationship, I would often tell him, yeah, you're the last man I'm ever going to date. Like, I really just didn't like this man.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Ever.
I wouldn't say you I wouldn't say you liked him at all.
I would say I actively disliked him.
Yeah.
I was 22 at the time, and I just like really couldn't and he was like 28.
Yeah.
Why were you obsessed with me? Like, literally, why? Like, that's so weird. But yeah, I just don't think I had like the communication skills to be able to like express like, hey, I actually don't really like you.
Yeah, totally.
I get that that's like a hard thing to say. I could say it now.
Yeah.
But we've done a lot of work. Anyway, I definitely started dating him because he was like so acts of servicey. I was like, oh, great cook, like great bartender. I was like, great, you make way more money than I do. You'll pay for stuff. You'll cook me dinner. Like,
yeah,
great. I'll learn some knife skills out of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I could learn
Easy.
some like literally just like practical skills. But yeah, I think he really thought we were like in love.
Yeah.
I really think he thought I was like it.
Yeah.
And I literally like literally lockdown started, and I was trying so hard to make that like my excuse to stop seeing each other.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, hey, and he lived like 10 miles from me,
Yeah.
mind you. I'm like not exaggerating. He lived like 10 miles away from me. And I was like, hey, like, I'm not really comfortable taking Ubers right now. Like, I don't think that like
Yeah.
I don't think that we should see each other. And this man would literally skateboard 10 miles to my house on like a broken foot.
Oh my God.
What are you
Did he have a cast?
No, just like his like foot was just like fucked up, I guess. And just like, I don't know, he just like wouldn't go to the doctor. I don't know. I don't know if he had health insurance or what.
Yeah.
But like just wild vibes. And then I guess similar to your boyfriend's tale, like I guess I thought he knew I was leaving. and he like didn't. Like, it was like a similar like, oh yeah, well my dad's coming on this date, and he was like, why? And I was like, oh, because I'm moving away.
I graduated college.
Like, I'm not staying here.
Yeah, I don't live in Boston.
You think I'm gonna live in Boston for fun, bro? No. Yeah. And so then I left, and he was really upset, and this was like not an interesting person at all.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't have anything in common, you guys. Like,
Remember when you went camping?
oh my God, oh yes, I meant to bring that up. We went camping because he was like Canadian. Like, his only personality trait was that he was like lumberjack Canadian vibes. I'm like, this was 2020, mind you. I'm like,
We were all in a deep, dark place.
deep dark place, and also I feel like that was like more of a vibe in 2020.
Yeah, totally.
I would not touch that with a 10-foot pole now, you know. Respectfully, it's just not for me. But yeah, we went camping. And he did have a pet. He had a dog.
Mm-hmm.
The dog came with us. We like went to like the middle of nowhere, Maine, and like I don't like to camp, you guys.
I was so stressed out.
I cried every single day. Well, first of all, we were like planning this camping trip and like getting stuff, and like I like bought a book to bring on the trip, and he was like, what do you need a book for? I was like, you mean we're gonna hang out the whole time?
Babe, I'm trying to do a solo activity.
I was like, what are we gonna talk about, dude? You should bring a book.
Literally, you're gonna need something to read because I'm not gonna talk to you the whole
What
time.
are we gonna do the whole time? What else is there to do besides like read by the campfire? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just was like, what?
Yeah.
And yeah, I like literally had a tick that weekend. I had a leech that weekend. Like, there's obviously like spiders and shit. Like, I literally had such a horrible time. I was just like in tears every single day, but that was
Yeah.
definitely because I just like didn't like
Yeah, no, totally.
And then, yeah, so then whatever, going back to I like move away from Boston, and he definitely was like still trying to like text me.
Yeah.
And I was like, babe, we like
Yeah,
what's the point of this? We have nothing to talk about. Also, like, I'm literally never gonna see you again.
God willing.
And then he like really spiraled, and the big kicker is that he then blamed me for having alopecia. I'm so sorry for laughing.
I'm sorry to laugh.
Sorry. I'm not laughing at the alopecia. I'm like, this man like literally was texting me being like, you caused this. Like, it's
like,
your
he
fault.
sent you like a photo of his
Mate,
head.
probably.
I'm pretty sure he sent like a photo. It was like, you gave me
Oh my
alopecia.
God. And I was like, babe, I literally didn't.
No.
It's all you, babe. I mean, and not, I don't know how alopecia works. Like, I don't know. I think for him, it was like some sort of like mental health
Yeah,
thing.
probably a little bit stress induced,
Yes.
which I know is a thing.
Yes.
Yeah. But not you.
Literally not me. You put way too much on a 22-year-old.
Yeah, literally.
That's on you.
Yeah, who graduated school and went home.
Yeah. Oh my God. Quite a tale. I feel like the last time I like looked him up on Instagram, it's like his like most recent post is like, it's like hashtag mental health awareness. Like, so, you know, I really hope that
Now he's aware of it. He's
really
aware
good.
of
He's
the mental health
aware.
now. That's
It
so
is
good.
so crazy that boys hit their Saturn return and they literally find out about mental health.
Yeah, literally.
They have
yikes.
no idea until then. Why does that keep happening to me? It's like really been a constant
Oh.
for like a ton of years.
Yikes.
Maybe it's me. I keep thinking recently, I'm like, is there like something up? Am I not picking up on something? Like, why does the universe keep doing this to me? I keep finding myself dating boys at their exact moment of their Saturn
that's
return.
Crazy.
Get me out of here.
Case study.
For real. I should look up when his exact Saturn return was.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my Virgo. That's my
Thank
Virgo
you for
tale.
sharing.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I've never dated a Virgo. And I was like,
Because I just
Yes, I
knew
have.
I hadn't. So I'm like, you had to have.
yeah.
But now that you say that, duh. But yeah,
It hadn't clicked
didn't
because I didn't
me
like
either.
him. So it's, I'm like,
Yeah.
I think of like, oh, who did I have a
My
crush on that was a
crush.
Virgo? And he doesn't cross my mind.
Gotta try new things.
Exactly. I'm all about trying new things, you guys.
Mhm. All right. Should we call our Virgo?
I think we should call our Virgo. Hi, our Virgo friend. Do you wanna introduce yourself?
Of course. My name is Chase, longtime friend of Miss Danny and Aubrey.
Yes.
And yeah.
Virgo icon.
Virgo icon. Honestly, wanna like just really top tier human.
Yeah.
You're just like really, I feel like you're just everyone's favorite person.
Mhm.
No?
And like, what a surprise coming from a Virgo. I honestly
No,
don't think they're
totally.
usually favored among the community.
No, I think that's real. And I think
Mhm.
that's what we're here to talk about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I appreciate those kind of words.
Do you know your big 3, your big 6?
I do. Rising Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Virgo.
Okay.
So it's a good time to call me.
You've come to the right place.
You have
Yeah.
to know the right person.
Expert.
And then Venus, Mars, Leo.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. How much do you know about astrology?
I would say I know a fair amount in, the community of people. My grandma, who did a lot of raising me, was really into astrology and raised me on it and was always telling me all the things about her being an Aries, me being a Virgo. Lots of my gifts growing up had to do about astrology. And she'd always have books lying around about it, which I don't think I really like retained so much of it growing up, but I think my interest deepened because of the like association with it growing up. So I've slowly dug more and more into it over the
Yeah.
past few years.
I feel like you know a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been like step by step, and I feel like houses I have mostly down now, like in some general understanding. And now I'm on like aspects, but that's really hard for me to that's a
Yeah.
lot.
That's a lot.
to retain.
No, it is. It is a lot to retain.
What
But yeah,
kinds
I
of
would say a good amount. Mhm.
what kinds of things would your grandma tell you about being a Virgo?
Perfectionism was huge. And just I think I mean, my grandma just like was my biggest fan, so it was obviously very like very wonderful things to say to a
Yeah.
kid. But yeah, she just was like, you're so diligent and you're so logical and you're so smart and you love information and curious. And yeah, like she really pointed out the good traits of what a Virgo can bring.
Did you feel like when you were little, did you already know those things about yourself, or was like hearing it from someone else the first time you had considered those traits to be within you? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I've always been quite self-aware as a person, but I don't know like what I thought of myself as a kid. I was like so happy.
Yeah.
I would never stop smiling. And I just always felt like I don't know if this sounds crazy, but as a kid, I was always like, I'm so special.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Totally.
And yeah, I think I was like a really confident kid, and I was always making conversation with adults and like sustaining conversation with adults.
Yeah.
And I remember like friends' parents would always tell my mom, like, he loves to talk in like a really nice way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah, but I think like she would tell me things and I believed them.
Totally.
Yeah.
That is so special.
Yeah, that is so nice. I think too, because like we were all dancers. So it is like, I feel like you would recognize that like you were a hard worker.
Yeah.
You were, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that was something
You're
that we
detail
all were doing
oriented.
as
You're like,
children.
yeah, I am thinking
Like,
about my fourth toe. Like,
yeah, like working quite hard, you know?
That's so true because I
Yeah.
mean, I yeah, I guess like Virgos being into working or like they can't stop working and they always need it. I guess that really was like that's not so much the case for me now, but when I was a kid, I did gymnastics for 10 years. And that's like 6 days a week,
Yeah.
fully just full out. And yeah, it never like I feel like I never thought of it as working.
yeah.
I don't know what I thought of it, but it wasn't like yeah, it was like a lot of focus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Virgo is very like, it's, as you may know, rules the sixth house of like daily work. So it is very like routine based. So like even I think just probably doing the same thing every day was so probably really comforting to you.
Yes. I will say my routine, I have routines majorly
Yeah.
every day. And I like never have missed brushing my teeth. And I've never not washed my face.
Totally.
Like, no matter. I was just in the woods camping for the first time, and I made my friend walk 30 minutes in the pitch black woods to the public restroom
Yes.
because I was like, we are brushing
Yeah.
our teeth.
I was also on a road trip last week, and that was me. I was like,
Yeah.
no, I'm bringing my K beauty to the campsite, like,
Yeah.
and we'll be doing it all.
Yeah, my friend was like so pissed. She's like, do we really have to do this? And I was like, you're gonna sleep in the tent next to me,
Yeah.
unshowered and unbrushed.
Unbrushed.
And then we did it. And she's like, I'm so thankful that you made us do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
No, I'm really with you on the
Yeah,
Yeah.
daily routines. I mean, I think that's probably also the dancer in all of us too, like just so
Yeah,
disciplined.
yeah.
totally. It's interesting. That's like this. I just started working at the opera here, and this guy in the cast was like, he asked about my signs. And I didn't know this about the sixth house actually, because I told him I had a lot of Virgo in my chart, and he was like, oh, like sixth house, 12th house axis.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was like, yes, girl.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But okay, I got it now.
Yeah, sixth house is like daily routines,
Mhm.
work, pets, and then 12 and also like physical health.
Uh-huh.
And then 12th house is like it's like the house of like things that are hidden, very like subconscious, very like mental health.
Hmm.
Um yeah.
Don't they call this sixth house? I don't know if this is like, don't they call it the dead house? Like it's
I don't know.
there's like nothing. I don't know what I was reading about this. Not like death, like the eighth house, but like I don't know. So I was reading something where it's like in the middle, and people call it like the blank house.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, it's like halfway through.
Yeah, maybe I should have a little more information on that before I.
That's okay. There is, I mean, the thing we love about astrology, there's like infinite things to know and like
Mhm.
so many
Totally.
different ways to like refer to
Yeah,
things.
absolutely.
What do you see about Virgos in like social media, like memes, like kind of pop astrology? Like, what are you hearing about them? Are the allegations true?
I feel like a lot of the time, especially like Twitter, it's always like, I will never date a Virgo man again.
Mm-hmm.
A Virgo man ruined my life. And I don't know if it's because like I have Virgo like algorithm,
Mhm.
Right.
but it's often slander, which I'm like, yeah, I get it. I would say like Pisces men and Virgo men are like the most slandered to me.
Are you ruining
And
people's lives?
I think in terms of love, I can definitely be a heartbreaker, but it's because I mean, I imagine inside of myself, I just have no tolerance for bullshit,
Totally.
Yeah.
all of being a Virgo.
Mm-hmm.
And the second, not maybe not the second, but like I will cut the cord
Yeah.
in and totally be moving on.
Yeah.
Um other in media, I guess. Yeah, I interacting with other Virgos is interesting to me sometimes. I often find a lot of them to be basic.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
They're very like, I mean, I'm quite reserved, but I find other Virgos to be like prudish in
Yeah.
Totally.
nature. And I think I'm so drawn to people who are like fiery or like flamboyant or like have like all like an
Mhm.
extraness about them. And I feel like often Virgos, it's a lot of it's under the surface and they are onions, which I also
Yeah.
relate to. And maybe because I have all of that, I look for the balance.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I will say, other than like our top girls, Miss Beyonce,
Mhm. Of
you know,
course.
the famous, of course, we have her. But a lot of other Virgos, I'm just like, I can find them to be like, I'm just like, okay.
Well, I think it's
Yeah.
like really, I Virgos can be really, really critical of
Mhm.
other
Yeah.
people, but like especially of themselves. And I think it's like so beautiful that your grandma was able to like instill such confidence within you in which like you can be yourself
Yeah.
Mhm.
and you like aren't worried about like how you're coming across as much. Like other Virgos are like so worried.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah, that
very
Yeah.
they're not even
anxious.
like bringing anything.
Yeah. But
You
you
know.
like know who you are.
Yeah, totally. And Oh wait, what did you just say that I was gonna respond to? That I know myself.
Confidence. Yeah. Critical
Yes,
anxiety.
critical.
Yes.
Yes, that is, I guess I always joke with my friends because they're like, "You're so critical and so judgmental," and I'm like, "Imagine being me."
Literally.
I'm like, "You think it's hard? Imagine being inside of it." I don't feel bad for you. I feel bad for myself.
No,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, the critical, it's actually so crazy. And what they do say about like Virgos being in love and they like you can tell they love you because they're criticizing you is so real.
Yeah. You just want the
Like,
best for them.
yes, and like they
Mhm.
I think I mean, speaking for myself, I do see like I'm very observant and notice like trends in people or like can
Mhm.
gather things about people quite quickly,
Yeah.
I guess. And especially if I'm dating someone, I will get so lost in the sauce of being like, you are doing all of these things crazily. And then I'm like, oh my God, because like I can see like this thing wash over them as I say it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, right, like I don't think I'm supposed to say that. But then I'm like, why would that stop me?
That was so true.
Yeah. What signs do you typically date?
I've been on an Aquarius kick,
Love.
Mhm.
Fun.
and I find that the big three is usually some makeup of Libra, Aquarius, Leo.
Oh,
Mm.
And I've also been attracting, or I'm attracted to either way, Libra risings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Real. Real. Yeah. So real.
Miss Danny over here.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
I guess
totally.
the Libra rising is very alluring.
I agree.
Yeah.
I also dated one this summer.
Yeah,
Pa-
I'm like,
past
whoa.
tense.
I think too, like for both of you, it is like the like obviously me too, but I feel like it's like the appreciation for the look, the
Yes.
aesthetic,
Yes.
the balance, the symmetry. Like I feel like we all appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So I could definitely see that being a recurring theme.
Totally. And I think like that Venus ruled, right? Like
Yeah.
Yes.
Libra rising people. And I think I'm also like Venus energy
Yeah, for sure.
is very also, yeah, like I find it to be very attractive.
Hmm.
I agree.
Yeah.
What about friends? Who are your friends?
Friends are really all over the place, but
You
I
have so
will,
many friends. You have like more friends than anyone I know.
oh my God,
No,
this
we
is
said that earlier in the episode. I was saying like the person we're gonna talk to today, like I feel like you're one of those people, and I'm like obviously this is like a wonderful thing. Like anyone would call you their best friend,
Yeah.
you know? Like you
yeah.
are just like such an important person to so many people.
Hmm. I thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very sweet. And I do feel that, especially, this is a side note before I answer friends, is I have strong eighth house placements.
Mm.
Mm.
And I read this thing that was like, if you're an eighth houser, you will forever be a bridesmaid. And I've stood in 3 weddings
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
this summer.
Like yeah, like all three weddings of the summer. Were they not?
Yeah.
Literally. And I was like, I was talking to my friend and I was like, I'm having this realization that I'm probably going to be standing in a lot of weddings in my life. And it's expensive.
Yeah.
Well, especially
Yeah.
you're on like international wedding talk.
Totally.
I'm like, you're getting no.
We don't have to go there, but
Yeah.
yeah, you're not in just
Yes.
any like country club weddings.
No.
No, these girls got money out here. Um, but yes, yeah, I think there's something, maybe it's like mutable energy or I don't know, many things, but I love like knowing people,
Yeah.
and I think people like to be known
Yeah.
Mhm.
because maybe that's like a way of showing love in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
It totally is.
yeah, and I just I think there's something about like getting to know people, you just like hear their story where the story just plays out. And I love having that sort of information of like people's different wide array of stories. But for friends, I would say like Capricorn women, I'm like boss bitch always. I'm like the Capricorn women in my life are like so baller and head is down and they are working. And Cancers are, my mom's a Cancer and one of my closest friends is a Cancer. And I find that Cancer women, I just find to be, maybe it's like the motherhood attachment thing, but I find them to be incredibly comforting.
Yeah.
And our energies fuse really well together.
Totally. Virgo and Cancer are like
Yes.
mommies.
Yeah, mommy. And I would say that like there's no signs that really bother me. Like I don't like have that one sign, but I will say that like first impression with Scorpio can be hard for me.
Yeah.
I'm always like, you seem like you like to frustrate people. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
And Pisces.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, come back.
Yeah. They're a little lost in the sauce. You have a lot of earth.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait, what were you just thinking about for 5 minutes?
No, totally.
We're here to
But
work.
no, I mean, we're here.
Stop daydreaming.
Yeah, lots of daydreaming. But then, there's like such beautiful things that come with that I really appreciate. But it's just like, it's always at first, like I'll be a little triggered by people. And then I find out they're a Pisces or Scorpio. And I'm like, okay, well, we just need a few days and then we'll be fine.
Yeah. Let the dust settle.
Yeah. But yeah, I have good experiences with all signs and like, yeah, fire energy is also really good for me. Like fiery. Love that.
Yeah. Fascinating. Anything else you want to share? Anything else you want to ask?
About La Virgo? Yeah, I guess I do love being a Virgo for myself. I find I don't know, it's a lot, but I feel like gathering information and analyzing things has brought me a lot of gifts. And I always joke that I would like to like wake up in the morning and put on skinny jeans and drink Dunkin' Donuts while listening to Taylor Swift and like just be content.
What?
Like I just want to kind of be like
Yeah.
And then
about you won't hold plastic bags, but you want to wake up and wear skinny jeans.
Like it just is like, wow, I wish I could be normie.
Totally.
Okay.
I get that.
Okay.
But when you notice everything and analyze everything,
I understand. I understand.
It can be quite a dark experience.
Yeah.
So unfortunately and fortunately, a gift has been bestowed upon me.
Yes.
That I
okay.
analyze
I took you to literally a moment ago. I was like, I'm not seeing that for you at all. Where did that come from? But that was more like,
you're like, that sounds like not you.
Other people could do that, but you could never.
Yeah. No, I
and that almost gives me Virgo vibes, is like skinny jeans, Taylor Swift, Dunkin' Donuts.
Interesting.
But yeah, I think
I think of you every time I see a plastic bag, just so you know.
Wait, what is this?
Because when we went out in New York and you had leftovers from the restaurant and you refused to carry them in a plastic bag because you couldn't be seen holding one.
Absolutely not. And whenever my mom gives me a gift, she brings it in like a fucking Lululemon bag. And I'm like, I literally will hold, like, she'll give me a bunch of bits and bob gifts and I'll hold them walking. No, literally, it's like an hour home and I'm cradling boxes like babies because I'm like, I'm not carrying, like, the bag has to be cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
I love that about you.
I love that you think of me with plastic bags.
Truly, like almost every day. I see one and I'm like, Chase would never do that.
Never. I feel like I have been into something lately that's like quite wasteful, that is like kind of weird to be into. I can't, that's like Yeah, I'm like, what is it? There's like, I'm like, it's like something plastic. I mean, I do love a plastic straw. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's super fair.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
We won't fight you.
You know,
we're cooked.
We can't do it all.
The earth cooked.
This is the thing. Is
Drink
I'm
your
like,
straw.
I'm just like, it is kind of sad to be like this, but I'm like, it's
no, yeah.
Yeah.
You won't hear me fight you. Your
yeah,
one
it's like
straw is really not going to change the trajectory of the
we would have to
apocalypse.
yeah, it's like we'd literally have to get every car off the street, every plane out of the sky, every boat out of the water, and maybe it would maybe be okay.
Yeah. And like, yeah, you feeling guilty about a straw
Yes.
isn't helpful to that.
And I'm like, I'm gonna pay $10 for a coffee because that's how much coffee costs in New York now.
I
And I'm like, I'm
really
gonna pay
spent $10 on a matcha this morning. I was like, ugh.
10.
Yeah, that's
And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm gonna spend $10 on a coffee and your paper straw is gonna dissolve into it.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just not what we need right now.
But yeah, that's that on that.
Amazing.
Well, it was so nice having you
Thank
on
you
the
so much.
pod.
A true pleasure, and it's been a dream of mine ever since it started.
Well, I'm so glad we can make your dreams come true.
Me too. Thank you so much for having me.
Yay. Bye.